Hi, I'm Jay Turo, CEO of GT Securities, the #1 broker-dealer platform for independent investment bankers. The best and easiest way to become great at something is to identify someone who already is and then do as they do. That simple idea has guided professionals in every field for generations. Whether it's in sports, medicine, law, or finance, excellence tends to leave clues. The people at the very top often share certain habits, mindsets, and values. And when you study those patterns, you begin to see what truly drives performance. In that spirit, let me share a few observations about the best practices of our platform's highest earning bankers. I'll start with something that should be obvious, but is surprisingly easy to overlook. High-performing bankers are, almost without exception, fantastic and very serious human beings. And it starts with work ethic. Many of our top performers began their careers at bulge bracket firms, places like Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, Lazard, and others, where they were deeply trained in a mindset that expects and rewards very long hours and 6 or even 7-day work weeks. Those environments are demanding. They are structured, intense, and highly competitive, but they also instill something incredibly valuable: discipline, stamina, and a respect for the craft of investment banking. And now here's the key insight. After leaving those big institutions and moving into the more flexible, unstructured, and self-directed world of independent banking, the best performers didn't relax their standards. They didn't drift into a lighter pace just because they could. They maintained that same work ethic. And that creates a kind of magic elixir combination. You end up with professionals who work with the intensity of a young Wall Street analyst, but with the wisdom, judgment, and client perspective that only comes with years of experience. Add to that the no politics, no bureaucracy, no BS efficiency of independent banking, and you have something incredibly powerful. That combination makes people very, very hard to beat. And over time, it makes them essentially unstoppable. Now, partly because of this lifetime of hard work and responsibility, many of these high performers develop extremely solid personalities and character. They're not just successful bankers, they're grounded people. They tend to be deeply dedicated to their families, they're active in their communities, and they're generous, not just with their time, but also with their financial success. Let me share a small example that really captures this spirit. During the Los Angeles fires in 2025, one of our bankers reached out to me to check on my family's safety. Like so many of you who reached out, it meant a lot to me personally. Thankfully, we were fine, and after that, he asked if there was a particular charitable organization I thought was doing good work for the victims. I mentioned World Central Kitchen, and he wrote back almost immediately to say he had just made a 4-figure donation. No fanfare, no announcement, just quiet, meaningful action, a class. And that kind of character shows up in business as well. Finally, and very likely because of their early careers at major firms where they were trained and mentored by senior bankers who came of age in a pre-digital, pre-virtual world, these top performers really understand what our business is and what it isn't. They understand the deeper economics of investment banking. They know that this is one of the highest margin businesses ever designed by human hands, but they also know that we only earn those margins when we create real value for clients. And so they adopt a simple but elegant mindset. They don't sweat the nickels and dimes. They don't get distracted by small fee negotiations, minor expenses, or short-term thinking. Instead, they stay focused on the big picture, unlocking meaningful outcomes for clients, building trust, and delivering real return on investment. Because they know that when clients win in a big way, the banker wins in a big way too. That perspective changes everything. It affects how they structure deals. It affects how they communicate with clients. It affects how they prioritize their time. And it affects how they build long-term relationships. Put it all together and you start to see the pattern: strong work ethic, mature judgment, solid character, client-first thinking, and a long-term perspective on value. Those qualities tend to attract great clients, and they lead to great outcomes. And those outcomes, in turn, lead to strong and consistent compensation. In other words, success leaves clues. And when you study the people at the top, the formula becomes pretty clear. So, as we move forward, whenever you happen to be watching this, it's a great time to think about change, growth, and new approaches. Why not take a page from the playbook of the best performers around you? Why not adopt their habits, their mindset, and their standards? After all, the simplest path to becoming your best is to do as the best already do. Why not start now?